Welcome to the conversation with the women of BSV. Today we have a special treat. Many of you may be familiar with the pseudonym Sir Quacks-Alot. Well, he's here with revealing his real name, Matt Holt, live with us today. So Sir Quacks-Alot, lovely to meet you in person. Thank you.
Hi all. All my subjects, hello.
Right.
Thank you for the
So Quacks-Alot, would you like to divulge a bit of your background then and how you came across Bitcoin? Give us your rundown.
Yeah. Dabbled a little bit in BTC, as many of us unfortunately do. And then
what year was this? What year did you come across the inevitable Bitcoin?
I can't say I got in cheaply. I was, unfortunately, I can't say that. I came to the party a bit later, but in time for myself to convert to Bcash and all the shenanigans that happened there. I wasn't really active in social media when Bcash was a thing. It wasn't until sort of the split that I decided to step up and join Twitter and get involved in everything that we had to get involved in. So because that fun time during the split. So yeah, it was a very long time ago. I actually said to somebody, because my background is my early background was in accounting, and I said to one of my co-workers way back when, it'd be good if we had a digital setup for everything that we do, some kind of easier way for the money to get sent around, and wouldn't that be fantastic? And this is like probably even before I even knew anything about what Bitcoin was. So I've been waiting for this system for a very long time now. So I guess that's probably why I'm a bit passionate about it.
Yes, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And we remember you. You were on Keyport. Remember the first social media app on BSV?
Okay. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, I guess going into the whole thing with the city on chain thing, I bought some cities that were $1, and that was like early days. That was July 2019 or something. So yeah, so that was the early days of that, and that was one of the early things on BSV. So yeah, that shows.
Well, that's gotten you where you are now as the city master, key master over there.
Like 602.
Yeah. I'm really myself, but I'm really, excited to see it grow. I mean,
you have 602 cities.
Yes.
Well done.
I don't know whether to be like, bragging about it or to be, embarrassed about it. But yeah, I have a lot of cities.
And what do you do there in the cities?
Well, I think this hasn't been explained all too well. What people can do and what they, should do if they not just like, you don't have to own a city as somebody that uses it, but it can help. So the city owners get a small benefit from the usage of that city. So that's the real. Instead of the owners of City on Chain just getting all the money, city owners have their stake in the actual application. So if somebody gives a like, you might get a portion of that. If somebody pays to post an image, you might get a portion of that. So it's all about sort of having a giant the world having a giant system that breaks down into these little local areas, and that's why it probably often seems like we don't have anyone actually using it, because it's so spread out. Like, so if you're from somewhere like I am, which is in the country in Australia, my chances of bumping into another user at the moment is very tiny, considering we're a small community. So that comes back to the whole intention of City on Chain, I suppose, which was all about bringing the local to the global. That was really what was emphasized when City on Chain was at the CoinGeek in Seoul. That's what they were sort of trying to get out there, and
that was years ago.
Yes,
right?
yes, it
Wow.
was. Yeah, and unfortunately for them, I don't think it resulted in any investment that they wanted to boost what they'd already done with the project, and they were hoping for some dollars to come in so things would expand from where they begun. And I did really like that whole concept of knowing what's going on in the next area or overseas in somewhere. So because a great example is if I listen to the news in Australia, I might find out about what's going on in my state, but there's little chance of me finding out what's going on in the next state. So like something could happen in Queensland, I wouldn't know what's going on in Queensland. I'm in Victoria. I'd have to be lucky to find a little bit of, unless I specifically went looking for that information. I would have no clue about what's going on. But the cool thing about when something's posted on City on Chain, it'll pop up in the new message section if it's in the chat, and it'll alert you to something's going on in this city or in this area, and you'll have okay, so something happened in the Gold Coast in Queensland, for example. Like I wouldn't have known that unless I had have actually checked that out. So it's bringing what happens in local areas into a global system. So
I saw that on the St. Louis, that's close to my town of St. Charles. You had posted news articles for St. Louis.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. Like that makes a lot of sense and could really accelerate, independent journalism in the areas. Narrative control type stuff.
I think too many city owners, and not that it has to be a city owner that posts this information, but too many of them are focused on, okay, how much can I flip this city for? Mm-hmm. And that's their main goal in being on the system. And well, why would anyone want to buy that city if nothing's going on there? Mm-hmm. They don't seem to understand that.
Well, my interaction with it was to try to get influencers to advertise in their local cities. And so local advertising, and then also in the link in bio platform that I was wanting to build, when we added the profile to it, I wanted, like on Facebook where it says your location is, I wanted it to be the City on Chain location, so that was like the plugin there for a profile. I think it would be a really good way to drive traffic to you guys, and also to boost those communities in the cities with marketing and classified. I mean, the classified section is awesome. It's like a replacement for Craigslist everywhere.
What would you describe it as? A social media app or a news app, or like, because it's also, there's photographs and everything as well, and there's maps and so there's a lot of stuff in there. I mean, I'll share the screen in a bit so we can have a look, but what would you describe it as?
It's very versatile, like what you can do with it, and I think there was intent to go further as well, and it just hasn't gotten. I think in some ways the creators were a bit like, okay, we've built all this stuff, why don't you just come and understand what it is? But sometimes people need to know what's going on there. They need to see the background. They need to see the amazing there's the stats for the user is so well set up, so you can know like when you purchased the city, the exact date and everything. You can know how much money you made by using the system, how much money you spent on the system for social and for city purchases. So there's actually a heck of a lot on the back end. There's even a token system to encourage people to use the website, which is tradable on TokenSwap. So there's a heck of a lot of depth, and sometimes people might just look at it and go, "Whoa! Like, where do I begin?" So,
what's a token? Is it like a COC or something? City on Chain?
It's CC token. Yeah. So,
do you want to share your screen? Can you share your screen?
As a user, I like to learn by watching. So I think this is great to have you here and share your screen. And
yeah, so that's the CC token, which, like quite a lot of TokenSwap tokens, is down a long way at the moment. But yeah, so the background system, I'll see if I can change over.
What does the token do?
Yeah. Well, here's the token page on City on Chain. So basically, if you use the website, a certain amount is allocated. There's 1 million CC in total, which will be distributed 1,000 per day at the beginning and halved after 500 days. There is no pre-mining. The CC are distributed to users according to their daily activeness. CC can be used in many situations and share lots of benefits. So the idea was that they were going to use it to buy the cities with. So people that had used the website would accumulate so much, and then they'd be able to use it to buy a city. Unfortunately, it's not at that stage, but you can at least claim your CC and send it to a wallet for TokenSwap. So send it to your Vault wallet or whatever you happen to use for TokenSwap. So yeah, so that's built into the system, hoping to one day see maybe, using it for buying cities or doing something else with it, because this gift shop was one of the ideas as well. So
go shopping in the city.
Yeah,
Spend your CC and buy something unique, maybe from Queens.
Well,
it's another app that's paying you to use it as well, isn't it? Incentivizes you to use the app because there's a reward for your time being spent on there. So, do you want to take us from the very beginning, like logging in?
Right.
How do you log in? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a lot.
You can talk us through this and then do us a little. That'd be cool, because I know there are some beautiful pictures on this front page.
There are.
Yes. I have to give full credit to Elena from Bulgaria, who is our queen of posting pics. She does very well with, because she's involved in the travel industry. She has photos from everywhere, and she constantly keeps the front page ticking over with interesting shots. So a lot of credit to her, definitely.
Yeah, they're really professional.
Yeah, impressive. So you can log in with Money Button or Dot Wallet. I'm logged in with Money Button because I was from the beginning. So there's two versions of the site as well. So it just makes it even more. There's a mobile version, which is m.cityonchain.com, I believe. And so this is the desktop version that we're looking at here. So it's just fairly simple. If you logged into Money Button, it should sort of pretty much just let you go straight in. So there's two ways to search for cities. We have the map mode, as you can see.
What shows your city? Where's your city on the map?
Okay, a good example, I suppose, would be, so if I wanted to go to Sydney, I would click on this region down here, or I could search for Sydney up here, but we'll just click. So click, Sydney. So yeah, so you have an ad slot on the city name, just like I've done here, and you can advertise whatever you like as long as it's just in text or you have a link on that slot. And then when you enter, actually I should explain. I should explain that. There's a little graph next to the name, and that actually tells you the historical price of that of Sydney. So it was purchased for $1 on the 11th of July, 2019, and someone decided to buy it for 1,500. Being me.
Wow.
On the 27th of July 2019.
We should sell you DuckTales.
Yeah. So does that reflect also, the more activity that there is on a city, the more it would be worth over time?
Yeah. I mean, I think if you had a whole stack of users turn up, then the resale value is going to be, pretty good. So maybe the city owners should think about that when they're trying to sell these cities for huge prices. But yeah, so that CC token that we were talking about before relates to this Hall of Fame thing. So if you spend some CC and you become a Hall of Famer on the city, you're more likely to generate CC as a user on that city. So I've decided to spend the CC, become part of the Hall of Fame, and I'll get increased CC from my interactions on the city, as will Pete, who's done the same thing here. That's just another level of complexity. But so all of your city options are down the side here. You've got your square takes you back to the front page. Global takes you back to the map. But then we've got the city info, which we're looking at right now. The city owners can choose their own cover photo, and as you can see, it has a mini map to show you where you are, and you can even zoom in on that. And so we being people that are into this tend to like, if we're going to post a cover image, we like to post it also in the city album, just so we can actually say, like, this is where the photo came from, put our citation on there and everything to say for copyright reasons.
Before you go to the next one, I want to point out something that I loved, which is that little weather where you guys kind of partnered with the WoBSV guys and can do local weather of the area, which is great. Because,
So you can find the weather out as well then?
Yeah, if you click on, not everything is properly synced with the WoBSV as it probably should be, but definitely I would say, like, major locations, you've got a good chance that it's going to be set up. You click on the weather and it takes you to WoBSV, and so long as that information is topped up, if it's paid for, it should allow you to show the weather on the city.
Well, and if you're a local, like, weather person that's even doing, like, your independent research on the weather, like a storm chaser or something, you can access their local channel right there too for the city. Right? So that's just something I thought that was cool for, drone pilots, for example, or something like that would be local in that city, could add.
Yeah, that history of weather data is very handy for different types of professions, or if you want to, if you just happen to be on the city that day, you're just like, what's going to happen today? So we'll have a look at the weather on here. Also, we have the city info, which I've put a lot of info there, but yeah, so that's taken from Wikipedia, and that's just for anyone that's like, which Sydney am I looking at? Am I looking at Sydney, Australia, Sydney, Canada, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, got the details there.
Any true reviews?
No, I don't think that's become an app that's integrated, but I think that would be really cool to see true reviews integrated with this system.
So there's a lot of Giro dogs in Sydney.
I'm the guilty one for that, yes. Yeah, I just thought, you know, let's brighten this page up a little bit. And so not only can you post in the city album images, but you can post in the chat as well. So say it's something that you don't feel belongs on the city album. I didn't think I should put all my doggies in the city album. I'll leave that for images of Sydney and you know, whatever other happy snaps that we want to put on there. But yeah, I thought let's brighten this page up. But we have we have 3 slots for advertising in the city chat, and as you can see, we've got the classic zero comps and yeah, some duck site, and I've got an extra ad space there, just if you know anyone that is in Sydney that wants to promote their business. So it's very, you know, this is very much set up for business. People don't realize how much this is set up for business, you know. So
it's like brick and mortar and local businesses like that. I mean, obviously, it's a really good way to take over the review stuff too. I mean, obviously we have Brightview, but you know, your local businesses, you can have their ads, and then people can leave all the reviews and everything about them too. So it's just another place to have all that on chain.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, you might not want to pay for an ad. You might want to just post an image in the album or in the chat and say, hey, this is my business. It's cool. It's in Sydney, you know, so check it out. So, and then we have the city album.
And anybody can add pictures to a city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
so really on cool. Holiday, you can post your pictures from your holiday up on the
exactly. Yeah. We have actually, you know, we've had a few people post that we, you know, like I saw a couple of photos earlier on, and it was like, oh, okay, this person is not from Sydney, but they visited, so and we could see the result, and they must have enjoyed their time, so they posted their happy snaps. So yeah.
So there's stunning pictures of the Opera House, those two. There's one with a really beautiful rainbow, and then that red sky. I mean, that's stunning.
Yeah, I think that's an Instagram photographer who takes like daily photos of Sydney. So yeah. So and the
money off those. I mean, you get some really good picture of something that happened in a city or something that becomes famous. I mean, you can make a lot just off of a photo.
Yeah.
Do you have to pay to upload the photos? Are they on chain?
Well, some city owners decide to set their city to free, and if it's set to free, it's not on chain. I think, you know, the record that you posted something is on chain, but I don't think the image would be on chain if you set the city to free. Well, this is how they initially set it up anyway. So, and otherwise, it's like 1 cent to post. So, yeah.
And that would make sure that image is then on chain, though. Yeah, that's cool.
For every like, you get that back, right? I mean.
Yeah, well, the other cool thing about, so if I go onto an image, the likes can be 1 cent, 3 cents, or 10 cents.
Yeah.
You know, it's up to you. You know, if you want to really reward the person, if you say, you know, this is a really good pick. So, yeah, and we've got the detail, and people can make comments on the photos, and yeah, it's pretty well set up there. I guess I must have said it. No, I think comments on photos are free as well. So yeah, that was another decision that they made. I don't think it was initially that way, but yeah, it's free to comment on any photo. So, but yeah, like if you could just go through, it just keeps coming up as you go through. It'll connect to either their server, depending on where the photo is located, or to the chain. So
very cool. I love it. I just think it, I mean, like, I love Relica. I know we're talking to them in a couple days, and I'm really love what they're doing too. But this, to me, just feels so much more global. I mean, you can just search so much differently than you do through user profiles of individuals. You get, you know, such a global map here to kind of go and really explore all the pictures of all the individual creators in the area, you know. So it's really cool.
And we have the classified page as well. So I don't know how well it is operating, because we did have some trouble at one stage with this, but so that connects to the front page. The classified info section on the front page connects. So if you were going to post for the classified info section, you would go to the city and then go to this section and then go through all the options with like what you're trying to advertise, and it should then come up on here. I don't know how well it's operating, but that's the theory behind it anyway. So
yeah, and you're a super user right from the start. So Quacks-Alot, why did you pay so much for the city when it was originally $1? Why did you pay a high price?
It's Sydney for one thing, but it was a gold rush very much. 1,500 sounds like a lot. Well, it is a lot, but I think the highest record is over 5,000 paid for a city.
Was there an auction?
Actually, there's an auction feature that has been added since as well, just another feature. No, I think that was paid without any auction or anything like that. It was just like, you know, such a valuable city it was regarded as. And I think if we go back to the front page, we have recent deals. So these are the cities that have been bought recently.
Ooh, great. You have some Chinese cities.
The leaderboard, and that will tell you how much has been paid. 5,530 was the most paid so far for a city.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you know, I suppose, go to the map, because it's in Chinese, isn't it? So, and I noticed with sort of Iran and Asia and everything, they're all in, like, is there a way to have English only, or like your language only? Or is it a mix?
I think some people will like set their Google Translator turned on so they can get that translation when they're trying to figure out what city it is.
Right, so that would transfer over to inside of city and chain then. Okay.
Yeah.
Click on that city though. I'm fascinated to know where that is on the map, because it will show you the map, won't it?
So am I. Okay, that's a
Where's
Chinese
that, Rory?
City.
Is that
Shanghai.
Is that Shanghai?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's that? So that's $2,666,000 then, yeah?
Yeah.
That's
that's gone up.
I think they're dreaming at this stage, but yeah. So they've got the city details and everything there. Yeah.
The city I just stayed at the Eco Village, Resende or whatever, is $300. I was just like,
what was it?
Yeah, the one that's that's cool.
Casey, you just were there in this Eco Village in Brazil. So even though maybe you haven't purchased that city, could you post your pictures there, and then you can log into City on Chain and see your whole travel experience?
Sometimes the city that you're looking for exactly won't be there because there was a limited amount set up, but then you might just go and post the photos on the closest city to that location. That's quite often what people do. This is I guess this is a good example that the temperature is on this on this city, on Shanghai, is from WeatherSV. So that's the info right there that's coming across from them. So, yeah.
So have a look to see if Nottingham is available. I think it was $199 the last time I checked. It'd be in the UK.
Just
I'm intrigued.
I should just go to the map.
Because I can imagine, all the London, Paris, New York, Berlin, they all went fairly quickly. Do you know what I mean? I should imagine that was first day online. All the big cities had gone.
Nottingham is 2,000 at this stage.
My goodness, that's gone up. Wow. Okay. So does anybody? So are there any photos or anything on it? I missed my chance there, then.
I own 3 cities.
What's the cheapest city in the UK? I see £50. Yeah, there's a university. Oh, so somebody from China has bought this then.
Yeah, but I will say this about these owners that are putting big prices on things. They're usually open to negotiation. So for anyone that is like thinking, oh, I really want to buy my city, or I want to buy, my favorite destination that I go away to, yeah, usually they will take a lower offer.
And how do we reach out to them?
Sometimes through the chat they will respond, but sometimes it can be difficult to get people to turn up.
See, it's like, I think mine says, hi, hello, I want Nottingham, but it's $199. Who do I need to speak to? And then so Quacks-Alot came to my rescue, and then I just didn't buy it because it was $199, and now it's $1,999. So.
Yeah. I tried. I fought for you.
You did fight for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think some of these sellers need a bit of a reality check, but I think they feel like they can sit on these things forever, and I think it's a problem with the that may have to be resolved. Cities that don't have anything going on, cities that have not had the owner develop anything. Sometimes they won't even put a cover image. At least this city owner put a cover image and some info on here, but some city owners just turned up just for the money and didn't put any effort in at all, sort of thing. So
how do you take an ad off of a city that you bought? You can't take them down, huh?
I'll probably go back to Sid. Oh no, hang on.
Would that depend if it was a free city or a paid city, or is it different? Yeah.
It should be fairly easy to do. One example is I bought a city in France off Nicky New, and he had different stuff advertised there about champagne, and and it was just a simple matter of hitting there's a bin button on the ad, and so you can remove that, and then you go about trying to get the right size image to fit the space to put your ad as a replacement. So with your link or whatever you're trying to get it to. So I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I want to do.
I had an ad on my city, and I'm in the thing here of my cities and trying to edit this ad slot, and I can't figure out how to do it. That's why I was asking.
What about if Casey shares her screen and we can see what she's looking at?
Yeah, that'd be good.
So how many cities? Because there isn't, not everywhere is listed, is it? So this is saying it's limited, but there's still a lot on there.
Yeah. Some places have a crazy amount of cities. Some are lacking. I know there's a couple of states in the US that are definitely lacking in cities. We did make some requests to get some extra ones, and we did get some auctioned. That was that extra I'm just trying to remember how auctions work.
Where's the team based? Are they based in Korea then?
In China.
In China. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Seeing them speaking.
Yes. Ivy and Asign were speaking at the South Korea Coin Geek. So
yeah, that was exciting. And at the time, we didn't have on-ramps in the US. So I was eager to respond to their call when they gave that presentation, but I didn't have the accessibility like I do today. So it's good that you can raise awareness now. Maybe more of us in the US can get onboarded.
Yeah, that'd be good to see.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool site. It's got so much potential to it. It's a really cool site. Do you want to share your screen, Casey?
Well, I mean, I can, but I just
remove yours.
I mean, I just was looking here. I have St. Charles, U City, and Wentzville, which are all cities by my house. And I had posted this ad just to see, how it worked. And there's nowhere to take it off because this company doesn't even exist anymore. So anyways, I was just trying to clean it up and there's no way to do it.
If you go to the city via the map, I think you might be able to have more options than through the account. I'll just try and have a look at mine just so I can compare.
And how do we buy a city?
Right here, Rory, you just click on that, and you just swipe
on what? Sorry?
These things here, Wildwood, that is a really ritzy, rich area with all kinds of amazing businesses, and it's only $29. So if you really wanted to get in on this, these are huge. I mean, I should probably just buy them and not.
Yeah, it's fun. Let people know about our different areas.
Yeah, but St. Peter's, I mean, these are voted #1 place in the country to live multiple times. O'Fallon was. So
wow.
So you see that there's I think that edit button might help you. So if you just
that's what I tried to do earlier. Should I go to enter city?
No. If you go back to the edit, I'll just explain. Yeah. You click through this page. So if you still want to, just go okay or not. Yeah. So you should be able to make an adjustment here. So if you want to remove it, you just delete all the info and then.
I tried this and it didn't work. It does that.
Oh.
Atlanta is over 12 grand.
Just to prove me wrong, that had to happen. But
12,888.
Oh, I suppose $2,000 for Nottingham's not too bad then.
It's fun. Yeah,
fun. But I mean, I bought Wentzville because that's as everybody's moving further west, that's the new up and coming thing. So I don't know. This is where I grew up, but just I'm out there a lot and my children are in that area. So I just figured as I'm out there, if there's ever any pictures I can add or whatnot, it was a good city to start with. So haven't been able to play with it much. And I totally had I'm still sharing my screen. My bad. I totally had the intention of plugging City on Chain's little widget into the profile of any users of the platform that I was building out. Still pushing for that with Ryan if we can get, once we get that phase of the product launched that we're working on. So I still think it's a great idea and it would get people off of, Google and all of these different alternatives. So
when you're logged into City on Chain and you go to account and you've got an income and expenditure, transaction history and everything. So all your transaction IDs are all in there and you can click on those and they will take you to the what's on chain information. But I just think it's kind of quite well organized in the respect of your income and expenditure. In that respect. So on mine, I've earned 0.035 CC, and I bought 4 cities for $32 for all 4 of them.
Mm-hmm. Some of the CC sort of can really get allocated to big spenders. They can sort of end up soaking up a lot of that because there's also the feature section under the account area, and big contributors to projects within City on Chain have been given large allocations of CC as well. So they've sort of sucked that away from any other user from getting the CC allocation. But but there hasn't been probably a lot of money dedicated to feature upgrades for a little while.
We need to get this continued, to get work on it, because I think it's an amazing idea and it's got so much potential for influencers and local artists and musicians and just teachers. And, as this economy builds of where we all need to just work together and build our own systems outside of, it's perfect for that.
Digital yellow pages and phone book kind of thing, but, prettier and more in depth. Yeah. So also, can I share this as well, because you can explain what this is all about. Here we go. So there's a very handsome duck in a really nice piece of armor.
Yeah, I must give full credit to Nate Lindley for his magnificent work. The Ashcan comics legend, who is doing a lot of great NFT work with 1,000 Blades. Yeah.
Well, Nate, I didn't know that this was Nate, but Nate has made you Sir Quacks-Alot. He's done 1,000 Blades. He's done KP Dad's Bitcoins. He, in 1,000 Blades, he's given a female samurai a blue ponytail. Thank you, Nate. What else has he been doing? He's been working with Ray as well, because they did with Real World BSV. He did some stuff there. So Nate is getting around a little bit in the ecosystem. Well done. So Nate Lindley, Ashcan Publications, isn't it? Ashcan Comics.
Yep. Yeah, and I love the feet. That's fabulous. So Quacks-Alot, how did you get into the duck theme?
It's probably related to the roaming ducks that we have around my town. I think that's probably where it came from. They're the kind of ducks that don't care where they walk and don't care where they forage. They seem to have a little bit of a death wish when it comes to traffic. But anyway, that's probably my influence.
Wow,
I don't know if you've seen, but recently on Twitter there was a lot of stuff about ducks. Now, has this got something to do with you, or is this something to do with... I know there's a game, Haste Arcade, with ducks as well. Have you seen that game?
I wish I could say it was because of me, but I don't think it's because of me.
Oh, that's a shame. But also, I was going to say that there's a guy called Lemon Jelly from a few years ago, and he did a dance track, and it was called... I don't think this was the name. It wasn't called this, but it's like literally all the ducks are swimming on the water, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, and literally the whole song was like that with this like drum and bass dance beat in the background. All the ducks are swimming on the water, tra-la-la-la. Always reminds me of that.
One of the things that people mention is the Disco Duck song as well. That
which one's that one?
It's a pretty old song now, from 1976.
Oh wow, that's a long time ago.
So yeah, very much the disco craze going on there. Rick Dees and his cast of idiots. I don't know. Yeah.
My goodness.
What one? I didn't look at your Bitchad website yet. I need to look at that one.
Yeah. Well, this is SirQuacks-Alot.com. So you're greeted to the page by a handsome duck knight. So what's this page?
Yeah, so that was just a place to wrap up everything that I was working on earlier on in the piece with the interviews. I basically just set up a questionnaire and BSVers were filling in all their details about how they came to BSV and all these different questions about themselves. And I even filled it in myself just so people knew what was going on. But yeah, that was an early thing, and it was just a good page to put all the city locations, all the major city locations for City on Chain as well. So yeah, that's all that is really.
That's really cool. So I mean, we've kind of like, we didn't write anything down to ask people specific questions, but we've kind of plagiarized your idea then. Getting people in the space and coming in and having a chat and telling us how they started their journey with Bitcoin and into BSV.
No, I'm glad there's a video version of what I was trying to achieve. So yeah, but I guess probably what I should talk about, some of the behind the scenes stuff that's been going on with City on Chain. Why things are probably a little bit messed up with some of the features. There was some difficulty for the team, I believe. I don't know if the politics in China had anything to do with it, but they may have had some trouble there. And obviously, like I said earlier, they didn't get their investment that they wanted when they were at Seoul CoinGeek. And so that might have dropped the morale a little bit in terms of trying to keep things going with the site. We have a small group of city owners that has been in contact off and on with the team, giving our suggestions and trying to give user ideas in terms of user friendliness for the website and things like that. Some ideas are accepted, some ideas are not. So that group has been going at least a couple of years now. So it's become more of a social club, I think, than a part of City on Chain now. But we still try to keep in contact with them. But I think Telegram is probably the best way to try and contact them now. There's somebody that is connected to the team that runs the City on Chain Telegram. So they're the best bet if anyone wants to talk to them. But I think there may be a way to get to them through WeChat as well, because that's sort of how we've been trying to connect. Our little group has been trying to connect to them.
And what are those links, Matt? The WeChat contact and the Telegram?
The WeChat one, I'm not sure. It was somebody else in our group that was in contact, but
no, I did reach out to Jimmy. Shout out to Jimmy on City on Chain, the owner of Marietta, Georgia.
Oh, okay.
So hope to be in contact and let's make a deal. So we have our regular BSV meetup in Marietta, and would love to enhance the site with pictures and updates of our meetups, and also to love and care for my hometown there. So call me, Jimmy.
Yeah, well, that really shows. I mean, like, people could use that their city, you know, if they're doing meetups. It's one thing I tried to connect with the people that were doing meetups in Sydney if they were going to like maybe use my city to talk about things, but they weren't too interested at the time. So I think it's just City on Chain on Telegram, all, you know, one word. And Steve is the main man who tries to connect to the team and help people out with any of their queries on there. And there'll be a proper City on Chain symbol next to that. Yeah, there's been all kinds of background drama. As you can imagine, a platform where money's involved and people are trying to make deals to try and buy and sell cities, and some people want to do auctions, and they want to, you know, there's all these options with the site, so there can be drama and tension over who owns a city or who wants to own a city. I know that there's been some US users that just got fed up that they couldn't afford their city, or they couldn't buy the specific city because it wasn't on there, and they just threw their hands up and walked away. But you don't have to own a city to participate. That's one of the things about it, especially if the city is free to use, like some of the cities are, or if it's like 1 cent to post. I mean, that's a lot of money, not? So, yeah, it makes it very open. I mean, we have some users from countries where 1 cent is actually a significant amount of money, but they enjoy using that because it's cheaper to post, and yeah, it makes a difference for those users. We had definitely at one stage we had a lot of users from the Philippines that were finding it easy to post because 1 cent, wow, so.
I've got a friend who lives in the Philippines. He was my PA years and years ago when I was on a cruise ship, production manager, and he is now production manager, which is absolutely awesome. I love him to bits, known him for a very long time. But some of the pictures he posts are beautiful, and he's traveling all over the world. So for people like that, something like City on Chain is actually better than an Instagram or a Facebook, because you can map out where you've actually traveled to with your photographs throughout the whole, and even if you wanted to own some of the places that you visited, but other people again can follow that journey and not only just see the photos, but they can actually see and pinpoint out on the map, the world map, where you've been as well, and look at the weather that you're having. Glorious day. It looks really nice, but it's 120 degrees outside, Yeah. So I would love to see Harold on City on Chain. I think he'd love it. Yeah.
There is some fantastic shots in the Philippine cities that we have. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty impressive.
I think these next waves of people we have coming in will help revive a lot of these projects that have like this lull going on here. Because I mean, we know there's going to be more, massive amounts of people coming in. So I really can't help but think like this platform would just blow up if it was plugged into an actual like social network as well, just directed people from their profile into the local city that they're from, and then you can browse the map from there. But just like raising more awareness of all this stuff from the profile of an amazing like Twitch or something like that, and right there in your thing, if they just said this is where and did the little pin right there on people's profile from their City on Chain location, it would just drive so much traffic to both. And I mean, everybody can somehow take a cut, with the blockchain just handling all that automatically. So it would be great. I loved seeing the Weather SV plugin on there, because I really think, we really need to co-create this space if it's all going to grow. All these platforms have to work together to boost each other up. And there's so much abundance to go around. That shouldn't be the focus. It should be just driving new users to these platforms that obsolete the alternative options that we don't want to use anymore. So
I'd like to see more city owners step up and promote the platform. I mean, even the ones that, if they want to sell their city, I mean, how else are they going to sell their city unless people know about it?
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, do you know how many users there are in total? That's a big duck.
No
results.
Okay.
Sorry, just searching on Telegram, it says no results for City on Chain.
Oh, okay.
So I wonder.
It's working for me. I'm just trying to see what the.
We can do an @ symbol. Maybe it's my newbiness. Okay. At City on Chain. Search.
No, I was just wondering if you knew what the total number of users were.
That's a good question. There's 94 members in this group for Telegram, and 3 are online. So yeah, it does exist. It just might not be easy to get it to come up.
Oh, is it a private group? Can you do
My
that?
apologies.
Have you got it? Have you found it?
No, it's that I was searching in my contacts. I don't know how to search on Telegram. Okay, so I'll figure it out, and then I'll find you there. So
no worries.
I have this kind of thing. I've said this before. It's like a psychological barrier because I've been using the stuff like Facebook and everything for so long. It's like I have a City on Chain account, and I really enjoyed looking at the photos and going around and everything. And I bought 4 cities and stuff. But it is this psychological barrier of I'm already on so many sites. I need to. It's getting past that. You've been on Instagram for so long and it's where everybody is, but actually this is a better kind of way of working with stuff, and it's just that psychological barrier of just going from old to new. I find that's something that like happens quite often. So do you think that is something that is affecting the usage of a lot of these sites as well? Because some of them are fantastic. They've got such phenomenal ideas and they've got a lot of potential and we can see the potential in them. But, what is it, do you think, other than, we need to advertise more, but is there anything else that's stopping people coming through to these sites, do you think?
I'm definitely guilty of that. Like, I mean, I spend way too much time on Twitter and I'm on Instagram and, like I'm pretty bad myself. But, I think the advertising by City on Chain has been pretty bad. It might be okay in China, but outside of China, I mean, for people to think that I'm the owner, and I'm just a user, well, and a city owner, but, for people to think that I run it is kind of sad. So, yeah, it would be good to see some stepping up on that side. I mean, and other BSV businesses know that, we have certain businesses in BSV that are very outspoken and want to, get the limelight, and that's good because, people remember that they exist, and that's what we need to see from City on Chain, I think. But we haven't been seeing it. The other thing is as Casey was saying, maybe more integrations with other BSV things. We want these things to be so big that it's like you can't avoid it. Like you want it to be a big deal and be connected to others, so others can talk about their connection with City on Chain or vice versa. I think that would be good.
As much as we think they don't, I mean, you can see how all these platforms in the legacy internet boost each other up, and they all work.
They do, yeah.
We have to adopt that and take a lot of, ethical copying into this whole, new space, because that's what it's going to take. I mean, especially because all of this is so grassroots with all the marketing. And it's got some, I mean, I just found this thing today on Twitter. What is it? If you go to shadowban.yuzurisa.com and put in your username on Twitter, it'll tell you if you are banned or not. So
really?
I am ghost banned on Twitter.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay, so I'm going to have to look at that later. You need to share that link. I'm going to have to look because I've been banned twice. One completely deleted. One I got a 12-hour ban. So banned on LinkedIn.
I'm proud
banned
of you.
On Facebook. I'm just nobody sees me. I'm proud of me as well for being banned. I would say,
Now I just found you on Telegram on the desktop app. So. It is there at City on Chain. It's right there. So join channel, and we can get connected with all the users, active users, I guess. It says last post was 2020. Have you posted in here recently?
The one I'm looking at, the last post was at
today.
Today, yeah.
Okay, I'll update.
by Steve. He's the main man. This guy is just connected to the City on Chain team. I don't know him on any other platform, but on Telegram. So yeah,
Wow.
he came from somewhere.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, he's a big mystery guy. Another thing that has had frustrated users with City on Chain is Money Button. To be honest,
What was the problem?
There's periodic issues that happen. There's quite often if I give a like, my first like that I try to give will die, and it'll come up as some weird Money Button error. I can't just blame Money Button. Obviously, it's how it's been integrated, but there has been talk of other wallets other than I don't know how Dot Wallet goes. I haven't, because I did all my City buying through Money Button. I don't know how Dot Wallet goes. If you're a new user, you might want to try Dot Wallet and see how you go. But there's been a lot of issues. I'm not trying to rag on Money Button, but it's been a big problem, and users have been complaining about it since day one. So, yeah.
That's good to know, though. I mean, that's,
We'll talk
feedback
after.
is needed, Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, if people don't feed back things that are at fault on certain sites, then obviously the creators of are never going to know. So therefore, it needs to be said. It needs to be out there in the open. If there are faults with things that can be improved or made better, then they need to know about that. So
it got to the stage where we were going to try and encourage another wallet to step in. And we did sort of push for a fundraiser to get that to happen, but the other wallets were kind of not really caring when we tried to do that, which I thought was a bit disappointing. But Jack from Relay thought it was a big joke. And
what, the whole City on Chain thing, or okay.
Well, that City on Chain were looking for 10 BSV for it to happen, so they could pay to do it. I
mean, in Handcash wallet, it'd be great to have an app with a map.
The feature options for other wallets are still listed on the site, but they've jacked up the price for doing that now. So I think it's like 30 BSV they want to implement it. I think they might have even sold themselves short on saying that it would only take 10 BSV to try and do that feature. So
and it depends on when as well. If it was, BSV was at $400,
exactly,
it's at $69 or $85, and
10 BSV is a bit different now to to what it might have been at the time, but I think they, from what we could gather, our little group that was in contact, the amount of information that has to be transferred when you're moving from one wallet to another is huge. Like, especially like if you look at a user like me, who owns so many cities and has done a lot of stuff, done a lot of photo posting especially, but also news posting. So it would take a bit to move that data across. So I did get offered to have my data moved across to Dot Wallet, but I hadn't actually used it enough to sort of know if it was worth it, and it's a little bit of a risky exercise moving all that information across. You don't want to lose anything. You don't want to lose your ownership of the city. So tokenization is something that they have spoken about, tokenizing the ownership of the city. I'd like to see that, because at least I would sort of have something to show for owning these cities, having a token. for it. Going beyond that CC user reward token and having actual sort of like NFTs or and actually there is a partnership between an NFT platform in China and City on Chain.
Okay, well that's cool, because I was just thinking as well about, you've got the maps, you've got the city, you've got the news feed and the jobs boards and all of this stuff and the classifieds, but like you could turn that into a 3D AR VR environment as well, because you've got the map.
Yes.
You just need to hook that with a 3D virtual city.
Yep.
An AR environment, and then you've got the whole metaverse is literally just this portal through to an amazing metaverse. So it was oh gosh, what were they called?
So much that could be done.
I went to the Block Dojo showcase, and there was a Chinese lady there actually with her partner, and they had actually done that. They built Cosmos X, it's called, and it's like literally it's a space themed open world metaverse, which allows you to interact and earn rewards and participate in new projects, but literally they have 3D buildings and stuff, so 3D cities. So linking that with City on Chain would be an absolute phenomenal gateway into it. It would be brilliant. Yeah,
I think I did see that actually. Yeah, another. There are, of course, platforms that are kind of similar to City on Chain on other. Upland is one example that I've used. That's more individual real estate type setup. It's more like every single property is shown on the map there, and they only have certain cities so far, but they keep on expanding. It's a little bit simple. It's just buying and selling properties more than anything. There's a little bit of an NFT element that they've brought into it. But
you could have a 3D house where you hang your NFTs on the walls of your 3D house in the city that you own,
I'm glad you mentioned that, because we've just got some of our NFTs on BSV on OpenSea, I believe, as of I'll just try and find the info.
Nice. So you could turn that into an NFT and have it hung on the wall of your virtual real estate.
Right. I'm a sucker for props.
In City on Chain. Yeah.
Streaming Sats, it was the person that set that up. Mona.gallery, it's called.
Yeah, actually, to be fair, I mentioned it because some of my paintings are on the wall in the 3D house, the first one that he's done, and he did say OpenSea, and I wondered how that had got, because I think the house is for sale on OpenSea, and it's displaying BSV NFTs, which then anybody can click through, and if they want to buy them, they can do. Yeah, so some of my paintings are actually hanging from the wall of that 3D house. Yeah.
Wow, and where is that?
Mona. What was that?
It's Streaming Sats.
Yeah.
In fact, do you want? Shall I? I'm gonna. Is it all right if I share a screen? I'll share a screen and we can have a look at the. Right, he's on Twitter. Is it a man or a lady? I'm not sure if it's a man or a lady, but basically, welcome to a metaverse experience. Come walk around and see some of our NFTs on display and purchase any you like. I've picked some of the best for this demonstration. So this is Mona Gallery. Okay, so I only had a look actually on my mobile phone. It was cool. It's like a little video of the house. So basically, they've made this 3D house, and they're going to do more of them. And as you can see here, you've got a lot of canvases, these are from NFT artists who are in the BSV space. So super okay. So here's the house.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay. So sorry about that, guys. I didn't.
I thought it was just me. You guys were seeing it. I was like,
no, it's. You know what? That was me. I buggered this up really, to be fair.
I see the dog, the pug.
So let me see. Right, so there we go. So we've got a nice little garden, and we've got lots of walls, and we've got a swimming pool, and we've got, you see these NFTs.
The Aries.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We've got a living room and stuff. So there must be a little game because it says avatar. Oh yeah, you can see me. Look, avatar here.
Ooh, I like that space painting. What is that?
So
is
let's
that
see. So what I think you can do, as far as I'm aware, is you can click on the image. There you go. And this image is bullish art, so it takes you to who the image belongs to and who it's for sale with.
Cool.
That is so awesome. And then you can view it, and then you can buy it. Yeah. So I don't know if that didn't work, did it, for you? So I'll have to share that.
I still do this artifact page. It didn't go forward for me, so I don't know what
this
it goes.
Is the first bullish art I've ever seen.
That's really cool painting.
There's some really, really, I mean, there are, as I say, there are some amazing artists in this space, and this goes through to OpenSea, and this is...
I want to build a house. I've never wanted to play Minecraft or anything right now. This is really cool.
Yeah, well, this is where you can, you can get these guys to, give them a design, I suppose. Yeah, and there's one of mine, so you can go and buy one of my landscapes if you want to. But yeah, they, you could probably give them a plan of what kind of house you would want, and they would design it for you, and then you can just go and hang your NFTs that you own, hang them in the house. I think that's pretty cool, to be honest with you. I like that. I do, personally. So yeah, that's a little bit about streaming sats on Twitter. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would be a really cool thing to, have a plugin somehow to City on Chain and vice versa, and localize these things for the creators too. I mean, as influencers are very influential in their own communities first and foremost. So that'd be a great way to kind of really bring it into the real world. Even though we're all trying to go into the metaverse, we still have a real world that we're a part of. So
yeah.
Well, this was awesome. I'm really glad to, I bought the cities and I just haven't gotten a chance to do anything with them. And I was experiencing some glitches in the money button thing, so we can chat a little bit about that afterwards. When I see those kind of bugs, it makes me not want to spend a lot of money on the platforms.
Sometimes it's not actually the platform either, is there? It's an an exterior kind of.
Yeah, but just kind of sitting back and observing, like, okay, this is really cool. I dipped my toe in, and now, like, let me see a little bit more development, and like, I wanted to keep playing with it and co-create in the ways that I was discussing. But yeah, I really hope that they keep working on it, because I do love the idea, and the more we can start to integrate with other platforms, like putting that on the social networking stuff, I think would be really great to help all involved. So that's what I'll continue rooting for, if we can just get more development going on it. I don't, there's plenty of money to go out for developers if they're serious and have a good product.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks for keeping the ball rolling and all the momentum going from your end. I mean, you're killing it. If it does take off, you're going to be, very, very wealthy from just being a mayor of the city, like
trillionaire in the metaverse. The first trillionaire, maybe.
And Matt, have you made friends since you've been in City on Chain? Have you met people there in the chat?
Yeah, definitely. They're some of them are part of our little group that we have that's off for the mayors, as we call them. But we have a little group there, but also like there's definitely people on there that you see through these years. You see users, whether they pop up again after a bit of a hiatus, or yeah, it's a little bit of a community of its own.
Yeah.
And what was Bitchad? Where did that come from, and what's Bitchad?
It's a little bit of a play on CoinGeek, actually, because Bitcoin. So you've got the bit and they've got the coin, and rather than a geek, we have a Chad. So yeah. So
I love it.
Yeah, I'm spending not enough time on it. There's a lot of things in my personal life that are taking priority, but trying to get a little bit of news about things that maybe don't attract CoinGeek's attention, or any other people that are trying to cover what's going on in BSV, like this channel, so anything that's a little bit different. So
it's good. We might start looking at it to get my information. And it's like because there's a lot of things going on in the space that doesn't get covered by CoinGeek. You're right, because there are a different audience or different social circles and stuff. So it's nice to reach out and see who is in the ecosystem, what they're doing, what they're building, and what they're using. I mean, it's great. There's so much out there. There's so many.
A little bit on NFTs because even though CoinGeek has spoken about it, I'm sure the channel has spoken about it, but it's changing by the day in the NFT space. So I've tried to do a little bit on that in particular, but I'm going to try and do some deeper dives into some of the things. I've got a piece that I've got to finish about the companies that are investing in BSV projects. That's what I'm looking at tackling at the moment. So, and actually, it's surprising. We have our regular companies that we expect to invest in BSV projects connected to N-Chain or connected to Calvin or whatever, but there are actually companies that you just never have heard of, never thought would be touching BSV that are getting into the space. So I'm trying to tackle that.
What a tip. Yeah, we should flash it on the screen. That's bitchad.com.
Yes, bitchad.com.
So tips.
Yeah.
And Matt, you are a fire starter. Maybe you're foreshadowing yet again another news agency. Brilliant.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I
could be.
So. Keep up, Matt. You have supported the community or the Society of BSV for many years. You're always a bright influence on us all, and we appreciate all the investment of your encouragement, your time, and your creativity. And we're happy to meet you in person too today. So thank
you very much. Thank you for your time. And
why do you do it?
Maybe it goes back to that time when I had that discussion when I was doing accounting, about this thing that didn't exist, that needed to exist, and maybe that's why I've hung on. But also, it probably comes back to the whole freedom of BSV. The whole system is trying to unlock everything for everybody, and I've always found that appealing as well. So maybe that's the angle too.
Thank you. Well, please remember to like and subscribe and follow us on the Women of BSV, as well as go to Sir Quacks-Alot's website. What is it? Bitchad.
The links will be in the description. So Quacks-Alot.com, Bitchad.com, cityonchain.com. One person can make a difference and everyone should try.
Exactly.
Words of wisdom. That's John F. Kennedy.
You are doing your part, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. Take care.
Miami.